Hi guys, welcome to another wonderful section of Learning with Per Class. I am Tutor Chima. How is it going? I believe some of you have been seeing our videos. I believe it has been very helpful. I believe that through our videos, your academic level has improved in chemistry. Please try to use our comment section box so that I'll know how our videos have been helpful to you. So in today's section, I'm going to be engaging you guys with JAMB Chemistry 2015, and we are going to be looking at questions 21 to 25. Because in our previous section, we looked at questions 16 to 20. Yes. So today we're looking at questions 21 to 25 of JAMB Chemistry 2015. Now guys, before we proceed, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos. If you look below there, you will see a notification icon. Click it and activate it. Once your notification bell is activated, you'll be the first to be notified whenever we have an educational content like this on our channel. You can be kind enough to share our videos. Try to share our videos so that it's going to reach as much viewers as possible. So quickly, let me drive you through questions 21 to 25 of JAMB Chemistry 2015. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Question number 21. What volume of 0.1 mol dm cube solution of tetraoxosulfate 6-acid will be needed to dissolve 2.86 gram of sodium triazocarbonate 4 decahydrate crystals? What volume of 0.1 mol dm cube solution of sulfuric acid will be needed to dissolve 2.86 gram of sodium triazocarbonate 4 decahydrate crystals? And you've given the atomic masses of these elements: hydrogen 1, carbon 12, blah blah. Okay. A, is it 20 cm cube? B, is it 40 cm cube? C, is it 80 cm cube? D, is it 100 cm cube? What volume of acid will be needed to dissolve this? Okay, let's see. Now the first thing we need to do is to write the equation of reaction. H2SO4 will react with sodium triazocarbonate 4 decahydrate, Na2CO3.10H2O to give you Na2SO4 plus 11H2O plus CO2, because an acid will react with the triazocarbonate 4 to give salt, water, and carbon dioxide. So you can see the mole ratio. 1 mole of the acid reacting with 1 mole of the salt to give you 1 mole of the carbonate, to give you 1 mole of the salt, 11 molecules or moles of water, and 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Now we need to look for the volume of acid that will be needed to dissolve this. So that tells you that we need to get the okay, let us see. Now molar mass of Na2CO3.10H2O gives you, first of all, let us look for the number of moles of the salt. So that becomes Na2CO3 23 times 2 plus carbon 12 plus oxygen is 3 times 16 plus the 10H2O, 10 into bracket, hydrogen is 1 atom of hydrogen, it has an atomic mass of 1, times 2 atoms because it's H2 plus oxygen is 16. So this 46 plus 12 plus 48, then this should give you 10 times 18, 180. So add all this, you get 286 gram per mole. That's the molar mass of the hydrated salt, Na2CO3.10H2O. Now, number of moles of Na2CO3.10H2O becomes its mass, 2.86 gram, divided by its molar mass, 286 gram per mole. That gives you 0.01 mole. This divided by this equals 0.01 mole. Alright. Now, the mole ratio of the acid to the hydrated salt is 1:1. You can see it here, 1:1. That's the mole ratio of the acid to the salt. So therefore, the number of moles of the acid too is what? 0.01 mole. So the point here is to look for, use this mass to get the number of moles of this base. The number of moles of this base will also, or can also, will help you determine the number of moles of the acid. Now once you get the number of moles of the acid, use the formula for molar concentration equals number of moles divided by volume to get the volume of the acid. So in this stoichiometry of reaction, majorly in stoichiometry of reaction, the idea there is mostly for you to get the number of moles of one of the reactants, and that can give you the number of moles of which other entities we have there. So now the number of moles of the salt is what? 0.01 mole. So since the mole ratio of the acid to that of the salt is 1:1, that means that the number of moles of this acid H12SO4 is also 0.01 mole. Now we use the formula molar concentration equals number of mole over volume. With this formula, we will now get the volume of the acid that can dissolve this salt. So with that formula that says molar concentration equals number of moles all over volume, so the volume becomes number of moles divided by the molar concentration when you make volume the subject of formula. Therefore, volume equals number of moles all over molar concentration. I hope you understand that when you make this volume the subject in this equation, you have volume to be what? Number of moles all over molar concentration. So the volume of H2SO4 becomes number of moles. We've gotten the number of moles as 0.01 mole, which is from the mole equation of reaction, all over molar concentration of the acid, 0.1. So 0.01 all over 0.1. If you divide this by this, that gives you 0.1 dm cube. So converting it to centimeter cube becomes 0.1 times 1,000, because 1,000 centimeter cube makes 1 dm cube. So 0.1 dm cube becomes 0.1 times 1,000, and that gives you 100 cm cube. So the correct answer to that question is option D, 100 centimeter cube. 22. The solution with the lowest pH value is, okay, out of these solutions, which one have the lowest pH value? Is it 5 ml of maybe 0.1 molar HCl? Is it 10 ml of this HCl? Is it 15 ml of this HCl? Is it 29 ml of this HCl? So I said option A. Now the one that will have the lowest pH value is one that will be much more concentrated. So 5 ml of this is much more concentrated than any of them. So option A, 5 ml of this has the lowest volume. So it is the most concentrated and should therefore have the lowest pH value. So note that a low pH value indicates acidity. So the one with the lowest pH value is option A. Option A has the lowest pH value. 23. In which order are the following salts sensitive to light? In which order are the following salts sensitive to light? Is it silver iodide followed by silver chloride followed by silver bromide? In which order are they sensitive to light? We don't know if it is increasing or decreasing order. Okay, I'm going to use it in decreasing, from the most sensitive to the least sensitive. That's where I'll answer the question. From the most sensitive to the least sensitive. So now look at what I said. Chlorine is the most reactive of the three and the most sensitive to light. So when you look at these three halogens, iodine, chlorine, and bromine, the most reactive is chlorine and is the most sensitive to light, followed by bromine before iodine. So chlorine is the most sensitive of the three and the most sensitive to light. Chlorine is the most reactive of the three and the most sensitive to light, followed by bromine and then iodine. Therefore, the correct order should be AgCl followed by AgBr before AgI. So we have option D as the correct answer. AgCl is more sensitive, then followed by AgBr, which is less sensitive, followed by Ag, aluminum iodide, which is the least sensitive. Option D is our correct answer. 24. A metal M displaces zinc from zinc chloride solution. This shows that a metal M displaces zinc from zinc chloride solution. This shows that M is more electronegative than zinc. Zinc is above hydrogen in the series. M is more electropositive than zinc. Electrons flows from zinc to M. Now look at what I said. I said that for a metal X to displace another metal Y from Y's salt, metal X must be more electropositive than Y. So for a metal X to displace another metal Y from the salt of that Y, the metal X must be more electropositive or more reactive than Y. Therefore, for the metal M to displace zinc from zinc salt, from zinc chloride solution, that means that M is more electropositive than zinc. So the correct answer is M, is more electropositive than zinc, which is option C. 25 and the last for today. Steam changes the color of anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride. Steam changes the color of anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride. A, is it from blue to pink? B, is it from white to red? C, is it from white to green? D, is it from blue to white? What's the answer? Let's see. So this stuff here that they just gave you, is what we use in testing for the presence of water or moisture. I said that this indicates the presence of water or moisture. Few drops of water turns the color of anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride from blue to pink. Few drops of water turns the color of anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride from blue to pink cobalt 2 chloride hexahydrate. So the correct answer is from blue to pink. Blue to pink. Alright guys, we've come to the end of today's section of Learning with Prep class, where we looked at past questions on JAMB 2015 chemistry. We solved questions 21 to 25. If you look below here, you will notice that you have been provided with a link. Type this link on your browser and load it. Once you do so, it's going to take you straight to our WhatsApp group. When you join us on our WhatsApp group, you're getting updates, you're getting infos on the latest content on our channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.